What makes a book such a powerful and, at the same time, dangerous object? Do written words have the potential to shape the destiny of individuals, cultures, and even entire civilizations? Throughout history, some books have not only carried ideas but have become symbols of revolution, resistance, or destruction, depending on how they were interpreted. Welcome. Here, we explore the path of faith and seek to understand the mysteries God has left us. My name is Light, or as many call me, L. Today, we will journey together to uncover how some literary works have transcended the role of mere bound pages and transformed into forces that have influenced generations. Why have certain books become targets of bans, persecutions, or even extreme violence? What lies behind works such as the Satanic Verses, Mein Kampf, or the enigmatic Grand Grimoire? Follow this narrative as we unravel the stories and mysteries of these controversial works and analyze the impact they have on the world. Prepare yourself for a deep dive into the fascinating universe of books that have challenged, inspired, or terrified humanity. The Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie has become one of the most controversial works of the 20th century, not only because of its content but also due to the devastating repercussions it triggered. Look at this. It's remarkable how a book can leave the shelves and change lives, sometimes for the better, sometimes bringing conflicts no one could have foreseen. Published in 1989, the book presents a narrative that blends fictional elements with references to the Quran, the holy book of Islam. The choice of title and the passages reimagining aspects of Islamic religion were considered blasphemous against the Prophet Muhammad. This perception led to extreme indignation from the Muslim community in various parts of the world, accusing Rushdie of offending their faith and culture. The controversy escalated rapidly when Iranian leader Ayatollah Khomeini issued a fatwa, or religious decree, calling for the author's execution. This declaration not only put Rushdie's life at risk but also created widespread fear among readers, publishers, and booksellers. Many bookstores refused to sell the book, fearing retaliation. Following this decision, attacks on translators and publishers involved in the book's publication occurred in several parts of the world. It was as if the book had taken on a life of its own, becoming a symbol of the conflict between freedom of expression and respect for religious beliefs. The impact on Salman Rushdie's life was profound. For years, the author lived under constant police protection, frequently relocating to avoid attacks. His personal freedom was severely restricted, forcing him to adopt pseudonyms and extreme security measures to continue his life. This persecution brought to light a global debate about the limits of freedom of expression. Is it valid to question and reinterpret religious aspects, even knowing the potential to offend a community? Additionally, the Satanic Verses highlighted the tensions between Western values and Eastern traditions. While many in the West viewed the book as legitimate artistic expression, various Muslim cultures saw it as a direct attack on their identity. The divided reaction revealed the cultural and religious chasm between different parts of the world, exposing how ideas can be interpreted radically differently depending on the socio-cultural context. This story prompts us to reflect on the power of words and the responsibility of authors. Responsibility, a simple word, yet one that carries a world of meaning, especially when discussing ideas capable of touching multitudes. What makes a book so dangerous? Is it merely its content, or the impact it has on people's lives? The Satanic Verses is a work that continues to provoke profound discussions, forcing us to confront our beliefs about freedom, respect, and the limits of human creativity. The Book of Soiga is a work shrouded in mystery and enigmas, whose content continues to challenge scholars and occult enthusiasts. Attributed to an unknown author, the manuscript was extensively studied by the renowned mathematician and occultist John Dee, who believed the book contained knowledge transmitted by angels. Written in the 16th century, it features pages filled with undecipherable codes, tables, strange symbols, and texts that seem to belong to a world far beyond our understanding. John Dee, one of the most learned men of his time, devoted much of his life to attempting to decipher the book's mysteries. He believed the text to be a divine revelation intended to help humanity comprehend the universe and communicate with angelic beings. During his study sessions and occult practices, Dee claimed to have received guidance from an angel named Uriel, who told him that only the archangel Michael could fully unveil the book's secrets. This assertion made the manuscript even more fascinating, surrounding it with an aura of mysticism. After Dee's death, the Book of Soiga mysteriously disappeared, fueling legends that its content was so powerful it needed to be hidden. For centuries, the work was considered lost until 2 copies were discovered in 1994 in the archives of major European libraries. This rediscovery renewed interest in the text, but deciphering it remains a challenge to this day. Many believe the book's content to be a manual of advanced magic, while others suggest it may contain information about astrology, demonology, and even the genealogy of angels. The complexity of the text has led some scholars to speculate it is a fraud or simply an advanced intellectual exercise of its time. However, for others, it represents something much deeper: the possibility that humanity once received a fragment of divine or occult knowledge. This mystery is what keeps the Book of Soiga one of the most intriguing manuscripts in history. This story makes us reflect on the power of the unknown. Why are we so drawn to what we cannot fully comprehend? Perhaps it is the quest for answers that drives us, even when the path is fraught with doubts and dangers. Mein Kampf, written by Adolf Hitler, is perhaps the most infamous book in modern history, a reflection of the dark thoughts that shaped the Nazi regime. Published in 2 parts between 1925 and 1926, the book was written while Hitler served a prison sentence for his failed coup attempt in Munich. Within its pages, the Nazi leader outlines a combination of autobiography, political manifesto, and ideological blueprint that would define the course of his leadership and the horrors he unleashed. The work details Hitler's racist and anti-Semitic beliefs, portraying Jews as Germany's main enemies. It also outlines his vision for creating an Aryan state and the need to purify society of elements deemed undesirable. This rhetoric of hatred became the ideological foundation for the atrocities committed during the Holocaust, resulting in the extermination of millions. Despite its devastating content, Mein Kampf was widely distributed in Nazi Germany, becoming a bestseller. This demonstrates that words can be used as weapons, and it is up to us to discern when they bring light or destruction. After World War II, the book was banned in several countries, yet its influence continues to be felt. Neo-Nazi movements and extremist groups still view the work as a kind of ideological Bible, perpetuating the hatred and segregation promoted by Hitler. The impact of Mein Kampf goes beyond its reading. It exemplifies how words can be used to manipulate, incite, and justify inhumane actions. Its publication continues to spark ethical and legal debates, especially concerning freedom of expression and the limits on disseminating dangerous ideas. This work serves as a grim reminder that ideas, when put on paper, can shape realities. Mein Kampf is more than a book. It is a warning about the destructive power of ideologies rooted in hatred and supremacy. Written by William Pierce under the pseudonym Andrew MacDonald, The Turner Diaries is one of the most controversial books of the 20th century, becoming an icon of racial extremism. Published in 1978, the work is a fictional narrative describing a revolution led by a white supremacist group seeking to overthrow the U.S. government, depicted in the book as controlled by Jews. The story also portrays the elimination of all non-Aryans as part of a plan for global domination. Although fictional, The Turner Diaries has inspired real-life violence. The Oklahoma City bombing in 1995, which killed 168 people and injured hundreds, was carried out by Timothy McVeigh, who reportedly found inspiration in the book. This attack was one of the deadliest domestic terrorist acts in U.S. history, and its connection to the book underscored the dangers of narratives that promote violence and racial hatred. The language of the book, laden with racist ideals and conspiracy theories, has become a manual for extremist and neo-Nazi groups worldwide. Frequently referred to as the Bible of Hate, it continues to be read by those who share supremacist ideologies, often circulated clandestinely and online. The ethical question surrounding the circulation of the Turner Diaries is a delicate issue. Advocates of free speech argue that even the most extreme ideas should be protected under this principle, while others believe works like this only fuel acts of violence and prejudice. This dilemma reflects the challenges of balancing individual freedom and social responsibility. The Turner Diaries is a reminder that literature can be both a force for good and a tool for evil. It challenges us to reflect on the impact of words and how the ideas conveyed in a book can translate into real-world actions, sometimes with devastating consequences. The Grand Grimoire is considered one of the darkest and most dangerous books in history. Dated to 1522, it is known for its content focused on black magic and demon summoning. According to legends, the book teaches readers how to make pacts with Lucifer and other infernal spirits, granting them power in exchange for their souls. The manuscript is often cited as one of the most feared texts in occultism, attracting curiosity and study for centuries. Although copies are available in specialized bookstores and even digital versions, the true Grand Grimoire is believed never to have been revealed to the public. Supposedly, it is kept in the Vatican's secret archives, seized by the Church in the 18th century. This theory heightens the book's allure, suggesting it contains secrets so dangerous they had to be kept from human hands. The Grand Grimoire's content goes beyond demonic pacts. It includes magical formulas, enchantments, and rituals promising powerful results but reportedly bringing terrible consequences to those who attempt them. Even leaders of past occultist groups are said to have avoided fully using it, fearing the effects of its most powerful spells. Despite the warnings, the book continues to attract those interested in exploring the limits of forbidden knowledge. Its symbolism as a work of absolute power but fraught with dangers reflects humanity's eternal fascination with the unknown. Is it merely a collection of exaggerated legends, or does it indeed contain information that could change our understanding of the universe? The Grand Grimoire is more than a text of magic. It is a mirror of human curiosity and our attraction to what we do not comprehend. But are we prepared to face the consequences of opening those pages? The Necronomicon is one of the most fascinating and enigmatic books ever mentioned in literary history. Known as Al-Azif in its original title, it is said to have been written by Abdul al-Hazard, an Arab poet from the 8th century. According to legends, the author spent years isolated in the desert, where he allegedly acquired forbidden knowledge and contacted supernatural forces. The result of this isolation was the Necronomicon, a work that compiles rituals of invocation, witchcraft, and descriptions of cosmic and demonic entities. The mystery of the Necronomicon increased in the early 20th century when writer H.P. Lovecraft began referencing the book in his stories. Although widely accepted as a fictional creation by the author, the level of detail and richness in the book's descriptions led many to believe in its real existence. This generated an incessant search for copies, with individuals claiming to have found lost fragments or ancient manuscripts related to the work. The central idea of the Necronomicon is the ability to manipulate forces beyond human comprehension, something many believe to be a danger to both sanity and soul. According to Lovecraft, reading the book could lead to madness or even death due to the complexity and dark nature of its contents. This frightening description only heightened the fascination with the book, making it a symbol of forbidden knowledge. The Necronomicon's cultural impact is immense. It has inspired not only literary and cinematic works but also debates about the existence of real occult texts that could contain similar secrets. Various writers, such as Donald Tyson and Kenneth Grant, have explored the concept in their works, adding new layers of mystery around the book. Whether real or fictional, the Necronomicon is a powerful example of how a well-told story can blur the line between fiction and reality. It forces us to question how far we are willing to go in our search for knowledge and whether we are ready to deal with the consequences of that pursuit. Throughout history, books have been seen as sources of knowledge and power, but also as threats that needed to be controlled. Many governments and religious institutions have taken drastic measures to ban certain works, fearing their ideas were too dangerous for the public. This control not only sought to suppress information but also to shape how society thinks and acts. The concept of banned books is not new. During the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church created the Index Librorum Prohibitorum, a list of works considered heretical or morally corrupt. Books by figures like Giordano Bruno and Galileo Galilei, which challenged religious dogmas, were included in this list. Censorship extended beyond religion, encompassing political, philosophical, and even literary texts that threatened established norms. However, censorship had an unintended effect. It made these works even more desirable. Banned books gained a status of mystery and rebellion, attracting those who sought to understand why such ideas were deemed so dangerous. In many cases, these forbidden texts ended up influencing major cultural and political revolutions, proving that ideas have a power that cannot be easily contained. Today, book censorship remains a relevant issue, with governments and extremist groups attempting to restrict access to works that challenge their ideologies. Censorship is a double-edged sword. Silencing an idea can either suppress a revolution or ignite even greater curiosity. However, with the internet, access to these texts has become nearly impossible to control, allowing ideas to flow more freely than ever. The history of banned books is a reminder of how transformative and dangerous knowledge can be at the same time. It invites us to reflect on the power of ideas and how the fight for freedom of expression continues to shape the world we live in. Over time, written words have demonstrated their transformative power, shaping civilizations and toppling empires. Books can be tools of learning but also dangerous weapons in the wrong hands. The works discussed here prove that the ideas contained within their pages have the potential to inspire great achievements or provoke immeasurable tragedies. The definition of danger, in this context, is not just about the content itself, but how it is interpreted and used. Ideas that begin as philosophical reflections or literary critiques can be distorted to justify acts of violence or hatred. Books like Mein Kampf or the Turner Diaries exemplify how words can be manipulated to cause irreparable harm. On the other hand, works like the Satanic Verses or the Grand Grimoire show that danger can also lie in the reactions they provoke. Persecutions, censorship, and bans often turn texts into symbols of resistance or targets of fanaticism. The interpretation of words is as powerful as the ideas they convey. These examples lead us to reflect on the responsibility of authors, readers, and even institutions that attempt to control the flow of information. It's like walking a tightrope. Balancing freedom and responsibility isn't easy, but it is essential. What should prevail? Unrestricted freedom of expression or protection against dangerous ideas? There is no simple answer to this question, and the debate will continue as long as there are words to be read. Banned and controversial books are a reflection of our passions, fears, and limits as a society. They challenge us to confront our beliefs, question freedom of expression, and examine how ideas shape the world. But in the end, the impact of these works lies in what we do with the words they carry. Use the comments to debate knowledge, and don't forget to like and subscribe to help spread the truth. And remember, the search for spiritual truth is infinite, and we will continue walking this path together. Until next time. If you've made it this far, it's because something in this message touched your soul. But there's still more to uncover. Click on the next videos to continue this spiritual journey. Share your thoughts in the comments, like to support this mission, and subscribe so you don't miss the teachings and revelations yet to come. But remember, once you seek the truth, you'll never see the world the same way again.